Okay. And before going forward, I'll tell you how to read the economic survey. First thing is no need to look into the numbers. Okay, that means this much number like 2.5 crore, something, the numbers, whatever numbers, again, no need. Okay, what we need is a trend. Trend means is it increasing or it is decreasing? Those trends we need to know. Okay, need to know the trends, we need not know the numbers. Okay, then there will be a lot of facts will be there. Okay, so those facts we have to collect. Okay, then a lot of committees, then schemes. Okay, then certain policies will be there. Okay, so these are the 6 principles under which you have to read the economic survey. Is that clear? Okay, so numbers we will not concentrate unless until I tell you that this is required. We need to know the trends, whether it is increasing or decreasing. Okay, then we need to collect a lot of facts. Okay, then of course economic concepts will be there, like economic concepts which we are reading in the NCERT. Those concepts will be there. Okay. Generally, economic survey is a document which is a government document. So a lot of self praising will be there. They'll praise themselves. Okay. So if you're a person who don't like BJP, then you may feel sometimes it is awkward. Okay. That is how it is. When the Congress government is publishing, they will say that we have done this, we have done this. Okay. So same like this, government will also do that. Okay. And you need to know some certain basics about the economics before reading economic survey, because a lot of terms which are used here, you need to understand. Okay. So first is, we'll start this second chapter, fiscal development. Okay, fiscal development. What do you mean by the word fiscal development? Fiscal means what? Fiscal means what?
Total expenditure, everything that the government have.
Hmm. Total?
Expenditure.
No, no. Fiscal means it includes expenditure and income, everything. Okay, so whatever government money. Okay. Okay. Fiscal means here we're talking about government budget. Okay, you can say budget. Okay. Okay, you can say government income. Okay, expenditure. All this. Okay. So you might have heard about the word fiscal policy, right? Fiscal policy is a policy of government of India. Write down that. Fiscal policy is a policy of government of India. Fiscal policy is a policy of government of India. Okay, under which government will prioritize like how they are going to generate income resources, and where are they going to spend it. Okay, so income and expenditure both included in the government concept. We call it as fiscal development. Okay, for example, there's a word called fiscal discipline. What do you mean by the word fiscal discipline? Fiscal discipline, fiscal consolidation, like fiscal prudence. Okay, all these words means same thing. Okay, which means that the government has to reduce the fiscal deficit. Okay, what it means is government has to reduce the fiscal deficit. Okay, that means government has to spend within its means. Clear? Shall I proceed, Arjun? Are you understanding? Are you there in the class, Arjun?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are discussing about a document called economic survey.
Okay.
Economic survey, which is a government document. Just started introducing it. Yeah, we'll go through. Yeah, so first the government is saying that this COVID has come, no? Okay, during the COVID, there are two problems for the government. One is it had a shortfall in the revenue. That means tax were not getting collected because economic activity was not happening. Please write down shortfall in the revenue. Okay, shortfall in the revenue because of interruption in the economic activity. Second problem is government has to do additional expenditure also. Additional expenditure also. Okay, because there are vulnerable people. Okay, vulnerable people, for them, government has to give them food. Okay, government has to give them resources. Okay, so two problems. One is income is reducing. Okay, but the outgoing is high. Okay, government has to mitigate the fallout of the pandemic of vulnerable people, small business, economy in general. Okay, so this created a pressure. Copied on this immense pressure on the available limited fiscal resources. Okay, try to understand again. Okay, so just think about a family, like a family where income has been reduced. Again, somebody lost the job. Okay, at the same time, some medical emergency, something is there, where expenditure is to be increased. Okay, so what happens? Okay, so same like of pressure on the government. Okay, government's income has reduced, but expenditure is increasing. Okay, so immense pressure on the available limited fiscal resources. That means available fiscal means finance. Okay, finance resources. Okay, to make out this, government has increased the borrowing. Right now, government has increased the borrowing. Okay, it revised the budget. In budget, they came. Okay, this number is important. Okay, 7.8 lakh crore was the original estimate. They increased to 12 lakh crore. Okay. Actually, a lot of articles came during that time, like what the government should do, government should do. Okay. In fact, every government, if you look at the US or any government in Europe, okay, what they did, they simply spend a lot of money. What is known by the name fiscal stimulus. Okay, okay, fiscal stimulus. Okay, so fiscal stimulus means, write down, fiscal stimulus means whenever the economy is in problem, whenever the economy is in problem, whenever the economy is in problem, whenever economy is in problem, the textbook solution, that means the traditional textbook solution which the Adam Smith has written, okay, Keynes or any father of economy has written, whenever the economy is in problem, whenever the economic recession is happening, the solution for that is fiscal stimulus. That means government has to spend more. Government has to spend more. Okay, and that is what the US government did. That's what the European government did. But Indian government did a calibrated approach. Underline the word, very important. Okay, calibrated means we did not become very emotional to spend more. Okay, we did in such a way that our fiscal deficit is also not getting affected. At the same time, the people are also able to get benefit. Repeat, I repeat. India did a calibrated approach. Okay, we did not do any kind of large stimulus package. The government did not do any large, okay, stimulus packages as it was adopted by many countries. Okay, but we did a we did a what is known as a balanced approach. Okay, or you can say calibrated approach or balanced approach. Okay, what is a balanced approach means in the first initial phases of the pandemic, okay, we spent money in the discretionary consumption. What do you mean by the word discretionary consumption? Anupama, Anumol, are you there in the class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm repeating. Okay, when the other governments of the world has spent huge money, okay, India has done a calibrated approach. Okay, what is the calibrated approach? We did not simply spend everywhere. Okay, what we spend is initially we spent on discretionary consumption. Yeah, tell me, Anupama, what is discretionary consumption?
So discretionary is urgent.
Mhm. Okay, discretionary means which cannot be compromised. Okay, okay, sorry. Yeah, discretionary means which can be compromised. Okay. Okay, I got confused actually. The government spent more on non-discretionary. Okay, not in discretionary. Okay, I'll tell you. Like for example, food is there. Okay, can you think that today I will not buy food, tomorrow I'll buy food? Is it a discretionary or is it non-discretionary? Food is a Drishya?
Non-discretionary.
Hmm?
Non-discretionary.
Non-discretionary. Okay. So government spent more on non-discretionary. Government did not spend on discretion. That is what. Okay, I'll find out somewhere. Then. Yeah, India did not spend. Okay. So write down in the initial phases. Please correct it. I confused and I told the wrong thing. Okay. Please correct it. In the initial phases, government spent more on non-discretionary. Non-discretionary means where there was no choice at all. You have to buy. For example, food. Okay. Okay, that is a problem of the Indian economy today. Is today people are not buying non-discretionary. So people are not buying discretionary. That means people are not buying this one like new dress. People are not buying. Okay, people are not buying which is or new what is it, furnitures, or you can talk about whatever is non-essentials. People are not buying. Okay, these non-essentials are known as discretionary consumption, discretionary goods. I repeat, if I got confused, please write on this. This is a big problem in Indian economy today is people are not spending on discretionary goods. Okay. Example. Okay. Furniture. Okay. Anything, new dress. Okay. Whatever which is other than food. Okay. Which means without which you can live. Okay. When I say non-discretionary means there is no choice at all. No choice. You have to. Okay. For example, food items. Okay. Cereals, pulses, water, electricity, all this. Okay. Which is non-discretionary. You have to buy. People are spending here, but people are not spending here. Now, somebody tell me why it is so. Now, let us take an example of ourselves. Okay. Maybe last 1 month or 2 months we started spending. Okay, we started going out and little bit of things happened. But imagine from the March 2020 till December, okay, or November, how was our spending? Our spending was mostly on this, like a food or anything like this, like a school fees, something like that. Okay, we were not spending much on this one. Okay, because there was a panic. Right on. Why the people did this is there was a panic. People were not sure what is going to be the future. There was a panic among the people. What is going to be the future? Whether I will lose my job. Okay. Okay. Whether the salary will be cut. Okay, because the economy was going downwards. Okay, so people had a panic and people started saving more instead of spending on this non-essential goods, instead of not spending on non-essential goods. Yes, sir. Anybody has a personal experience or no, sir? I bought new car. New car maybe bought, maybe okay, but you might have not bought a additional car. If you don't have a car, you might have bought. Anybody bought a car recently? Yes, sir. No. Bring
No,
some.
sir.
No. Nobody bought a car. New car. No.
No.
Additional car. Already you had a Maruti. Now you bought a Benz. Like that, anybody?
No, sir.
No. What about Arjun?
No, sir. No.
Okay, so that is been the trend again, and that is because I told you people are afraid of what is going to happen in the future. That is why people are not. So that is what he is saying. And government also spend. Okay, now look at this. Okay, what I got confused is this one. Okay, now read this properly. India did not waste precious fiscal resources in trying to pump out discretionary consumption. Okay, instead we focused on all essentials. Okay. So what government did a lot of benefit transfer. Okay. Cash transfer government did. Okay. Government gave a lot of food subsidies or food as such. Okay. So right now, unlike other governments which were spending too much, okay, government of India did not spend too much. Okay. Okay. So our fiscal stimulus was not a pure fiscal stimulus. Okay. Some of them were part of monetary stimulus. Anybody followed the news in March, April, May somewhere? Our Modi ji came and he said we are going to give 20 lakh crore to
Okay.
pump up the economy. Anybody heard about that news?
Yes, sir.
20 lakh crore. Okay. But the 20 lakh crore government did not spend directly out of its pocket. Write down that 20 lakh crore government did not spend directly from its pocket. Okay, lot of things were monetary stimulus. Lot of things were monetary stimulus. That means in the form of loan. Okay, lot of things were in the form of monetary stimulus. Monetary stimulus means in the form of loan, okay, which the RBI or the banks will give. Okay, then a lot of people came out and started criticizing the government. What the government is doing, government has to spend more. Okay, why the government was not spending more was the fear of fiscal deficit. See, anybody who is not able to understand the terms, please let me know. Okay. Some of the terms which I have already explained. Okay. If you don't understand any word, please let me know because there is no point in going further if you don't understand. Fiscal deficit. Okay. DEFICIT. Okay. Government doesn't want to increase this fiscal deficit. Okay. Fiscal deficit means government is spending more than its income. Okay. India have almost 5 to 6% GDP. India wants to reduce it to 3%. Okay, so we don't want to spend more. Okay, okay, there is a need for reducing the fiscal deficit. Okay, okay, is it clear? Whatever I told you now, till now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is that means in the month of December. Okay, in the month of December, what we had is the highest ever. This one GST collection more than 1 lakh crore, and to be specific 1,15,000 crore GST was collected. Okay. Okay, so that shows some symptoms, you can say some symptoms that government Indian economy is doing a V-shaped recovery. That means Indian economy went down and now it is recovering in this manner. Okay, V-shaped recovery. Okay, during this period, government came with something called reforms in the tax administration. They introduced something called faceless tax collection. Faceless. Okay, the scheme we have to study. It is coming in this chapter itself. Okay. Faceless tax collection. Okay. Then the expenditure policy of the 2021 has focused on dream protection expenditure. Okay, what do you mean by the word capital expenditure? Hmm?
For creating liability and assets. Spending on.
Hmm? Anybody? Okay. Say it clearly, madam. Okay, capital expenditure means those expenditure which is creating asset. Okay, write down those expenditure which is creating asset. Okay, government is spending more on the asset creation. Okay. Now, when we, and I already told you, whenever government is spending, okay, government is expected to register, underline this, okay, expected to register a fiscal slippage. What do you mean by the word fiscal slippage? Hmm?
Yes,
So tell me, sir, don't ask any questions, sir. We will not answer if you, even if you know the answer. You just take the class and you go. Is that a message you're giving to me?
no, sir.
Fiscal slippage means government has targeted, right down, the government has targeted reduction in the fiscal deficit. Government has targeted the reduction in the fiscal deficit. If they are not able to achieve, that is known by the name fiscal slippage. If they are not able to achieve, that is known by the name fiscal slippage. Okay. So in the couple of months, recent months, there's an increase in the capital expenditure. So government is thinking that because there's an increase in the capital expenditure, they may not be able to target this original target. So there may be slippage. That means they are not able to achieve the targeted fiscal deficit. Targeted fiscal deficit. Arjun, tell me what is fiscal deficit?
Fiscal deficit is the
Okay, fiscal deficit means the government is spending more than its income. That's a very simple. Deficit means what? I have a deficit means I don't have money. The government will borrow and spend, isn't it? So fiscal deficit means government has borrowing, lot of borrowing government is having. Okay, and government is spending more than its income. Okay, that borrowing is known by the name fiscal deficit. Okay, government is borrowing more than its income and spending. Okay, that is not fiscal deficit. So now there is a trend that particularly right on this word FRBM, fiscal responsibility budgetary management, FRBM. Okay, according to this law, government has to reduce the fiscal deficit to less than 3% of GDP. Okay, but we are not able to reduce it. Okay. Okay, why it has to be reduced and all, I'll tell you later. Okay, but as if now understand, government is trying to reduce it. Okay, and if they are not able to reduce, we use the word fiscal slippage. Okay, now who can answer this question? Okay, look at this. This deviation from the path of fiscal consolidation may, however, be transit as a fiscal indicators rebound with the recovery in the economy. Thus, focusing on boosting GDP growth will be pivotal for enabling the sustainable fiscal path in the medium term. What they're trying to say here. Okay, one word is here, one word is there. The word is fiscal consolidation. What do you mean by the word fiscal consolidation? Listen, that see what they're
Trying to
This
balance out.
that first we are
Trying.
increasing the capital expenditure. Again, there is a fear that we may not be able to achieve the fiscal target. Okay. So when we are saying that fiscal target we are not able to achieve, that term is known as fiscal slippage. Okay. So this deviation, that means the deviation from the target, okay, from the path of fiscal consolidation. Fiscal consolidation means again this one, reducing the fiscal deficit. Okay. It may be only a small transition phase. It's not going to achieve in a long term. Okay, what they are saying to say is the economy is going to rebound. That means they are going to the growth is going to happen. Okay, and what is going to happen is because growth is happening, government will have more income, right? How the economic growth will increase the government's income? Who can tell me?
People will spend more, then GST will increase,
Tax collection. See the
taxes will increase.
when the GDP growth happening. Please write down when the GDP growth happening. Tax collection will also increase. Okay, when the tax collection is increasing, income of the government is increasing. Please write down when the income of the government is increasing, then fiscal deficit will be reduced. Is it clear to everybody? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
the deviation that happening, if the government is not able to achieve the fiscal deficit, that is going to be temporary only. That's going to be temporary. Is going to be temporary. Is going to be temporary. Okay, because in later part, that means when the government is thinking that the economy will grow, at the time government is going to have more income. So they will come into the path of fiscal consolidation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so same thing is repeated here. Okay, so government adopted step-by-step approach, calibrated approach. They're saying, okay. What the government did is government did these things. The government gave large food program. Okay, and direct transfer to Jan Dhan account. What do you mean with the word Jan Dhan account?
Jam account.
Jan Dhan account is the account which was opened as a part of Pradhan Mantri
Yes.
Jan Dhan. It is a zero balance account. Zero balance account to promote financial inclusion. To promote financial inclusion. To promote financial inclusion. Okay, so government has given a lot of food. The government has transferred money to the poor people, okay, in the Jan Dhan account. Okay, and government gave a lot of guarantee for the credit. Okay, for example, have you heard about this street vendors? They'll get 10,000 rupees as a loan. Okay,
Yes.
and the street vendors need not give any collateral. Okay, government is saying that if the street vendor is not paying, I will pay. Okay, so government is giving a guarantee for the credit. Okay, and postponement of financial deadlines. Okay, that is what moratorium. Okay, we had a moratorium of around 6 months, right? We need not pay our EMIs. Okay, that is what postponements of financial deadlines. Okay, so all this government did, okay, during this period. Okay, government did not do a lot of spending directly because in this chapter itself they are saying when you want to put the accelerator of a car, okay, at the time you have to remove the leg from your brake. Okay, so when the brake is on, whatever you push on the accelerator, the car will not move. Okay, so the people are not coming out. People cannot buy. Okay, so at the time, what is the use in making money in their hand? Okay, so when unlock was happening at the time, government was spending more and more. Okay, till the time, government was not at all spending. So that is what calibrated approach, step by step approach. Okay, so they are saying that we did a very good job at the end of the day. Okay, clear, guys? So these are the things which government has done during this period. Okay. And same thing is repeated again and again when you read this. Okay, write down during this period. Okay, ministries were classified into three categories. Okay, one is category A, category B, and category C. Government of India classified the entire ministries into three categories. Okay, So category 1 or category A is a which is providing welfare to the public. Okay. So here they have to spend as they have to spend. This ministry has to spend. They need not stop any of this. Second categories are which is not involved in the directly on the welfare. Okay. They can spend 20% of their budget. Okay. Third categories were allowed to spend 15% of their budget. Okay. So this is how, because government is not having income now, so they have to reduce their expenditure. Okay. But actually that is a bad idea. Okay. Right on, government should not reduce expenditure. During this period, in fact, government has to spend more. So this government, what they did, the category A, they have to spend as it is. Category B, they have to spend only 20%. And category C, okay, they have to spend 15%. Yeah, copy down this just a trend, because I expected this can be a question. Okay, this is a GST collection trend. Look at this: November, December, okay, January, February, and all same. March onwards, it is coming down, coming down. Then April, May, June, it is actually, that's what I was saying, V-shaped recovery. That means it goes down and comes like this. Okay, V-shaped recovery. Okay, and it went on to December to highest ever. Okay, just this line would be enough. Okay, but write down this month, the month which is coming down. Okay, April we had a lowest collection. April, and May it is increasing. June it is increasing, and July onwards it is coming to the normal. And went to the December, it is the highest. Okay, highest means 1.15 lakh crore has been collected as a GST. Okay, so they can ask you in which month the GST collection was low. The month was April. Okay, which month the GST collection was high? It was in December. Okay, and during this period, government also came with a lot of IPOs. Okay, IPO and the disinvestment. That means government sold its company. Okay, for example, they sold this Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, which is an IPO. Okay, there they got a money of 443 crore. Okay, so right now, government actually planned for to get 2.1 lakh crore as a disinvestment, but the government actually got around 90,000 only. 90,000 crore government got disinvestment. Yeah, who can tell me what is disinvestment?
Sir,
Selling of the
giving
Arjun, tell me. Arjun, tell me. Arjun is answering. Tell me, Arjun.
it is a selling of the government undertaking companies, shares of the government undertaking companies.
Shares of the government companies we are selling, then it is not disinvestment. So originally government thought they'll get 2.1 lakh crore, but they did not get that way, because first thing is LIC is the biggest thing which they have to sell. Okay, till now that is not visualized. If they are selling LIC, they'll get up to 1 lakh crore. Okay, so that did not happen, but they were, and also they did not, they are not able to sell BPCL, Air India, all these are pending. Okay, they are selling HAL, they sold something. Okay, then this and all pending. Air India, BPCL, okay, Concor, SC, all this they could not sell. Okay. IRTC, IRCTC came. Okay, and recently, I think last week, IRFC came. Okay, Indian Railway Financial Corporation, right on IRFC. It is a only government NBFC. Okay, government NBFC. The role is to give finance to the railway projects. IRFC. Okay, so one way of increasing the income for the government is the tax, which is collected normally whenever the economy is good. Other way is government can decrease its share. They can sell their shares, which is known as disinvestment. But disinvestment is not a very good method of approach. It means when you want money, you're simply selling your share is not good, because these are something which in long term is they're going to give you returns, right? Dividends and all they're going to give. You're just selling it. Okay, maybe an immediate solution, but it should not be a regular solution. Right now, disinvestment is not a very good approach solving the fiscal deficit. It may give a cash immediately, but in long term, it is reducing your asset. It is reducing your asset. Okay, and also disinvestment is not a revenue receipts. It comes under the capital receipts. Okay, disinvestment does not come under the revenue receipts. Okay, so there are two types of receipts. Receipts means income for the government. One is capital receipts. Another one is revenue receipts. Revenue receipts means those income which is not creating any liability. Okay, for example, tax collection, government is getting again profit from the PSUs. All these are government's more own money. It is not creating any liability. Whereas capital receipts means it is a loan. Government has to pay back. Borrowing. Okay, disinvestment also comes here, but here it is not creating any liability, because disinvestments you sold and you got the money. Okay, but what it happens is disinvestment reduces the asset. The asset was government company share. It reduces the asset. Because it reduces the asset, it is known as non-debt creating capital receipt. I repeat, disinvestment comes as non-debt creating capital receipts. Clear, guys? Okay, so disinvestment is not a normal solution. You can do it for one or two instances, okay, but it should not be a regular process, because in long term it is reducing your asset, because it may always give a profit, isn't it? You may always get a dividend from the PSUs. Okay. You are stopping that. It is like this Tamil solna, we have something like தங்க முட்டை போடுற கோழி. Okay, தங்க முட்டை போடுற வாத்துன்னு சொல்லுவோம். That means golden egg. Okay, so you are trying to kill the hen and you are a duck to get all the eggs. It will not come, no. Okay, as long as the hen is there or the duck is there, you keep on getting the golden eggs. Okay, likewise PSU should be with the government, because it will give a profit. But what we are doing, for one shot we are killing it by disinvestment, which is not a good. Clear, guys? Understood the economics of this? புரியுதா புரியலையா ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. You guys
Yes,
are
sir.
simply sitting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sometimes I may go fast. That is my natural trend, but hold on me. As long as you don't understand, don't allow me to proceed. Okay, take that responsibility at least. You guys are not answering, not doing anything.
Yes, sir.
Only one voice is there. Yes, sir. Okay, this is actually a kind of sometimes you feel that it is like a economic survey, they're repeating same thing again and again, and they have a selective data. They take only data which shows India is good. Okay. So if you see read economic survey, you will think, sir, what a government it is. Oh, my Bharat is Mahan. Okay, so what actually government did on the fiscal stimulus package or part? All of you understood what is fiscal stimulus?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, everybody was saying that when the COVID situation, lockdown, economy was in trouble, we wanted around 10% of GDP as a fiscal stimulus. Okay. And government said that we are giving around 9%. And that is the time they came with this word also, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay. Okay. So what they announced this packages, comprehensive packages. Okay. Then stimulate consumer spending. Okay. Then Atmanirbhar. All these are not as such great, okay, but it is okay. What I'll tell you what the government, I remember those things. Okay. So around 2 lakh crore, write down, around 2 lakh crore government spent directly from its pocket. Around 2 lakh crore. Okay. Remaining were in the form of loan or some kind of concessions. Okay. Okay, which almost according to the government it was 20 lakh crore. Okay, which is approximately 10% of GDP. So what is our GDP size? If 20 lakh crore is our 10% of GDP, how much is our GDP size? Hmm? I may know, max. Huh? Hmm? Arjun.
Sir,
Hmm?
2 billion crores.
2?
2 billion.
2 billion. That's what Google is saying. Huh? 20 lakh into 10. That is what it becomes. Hmm? 20 lakh into 10. How much you get? Hmm?
2
22
crores.
200 lakh crore, right? Huh? Yeah. 20 to 10, how much?
2 crores.
I'm dead there. I'm going home. I'm already in home. 20 to 10 is 200, right? So 200 lakh crore is the GDP size of India. Okay, now write down the schemes which the government announced during this period. Okay, it was already existing only. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Okay, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. This is a direct benefit transfer. Okay. Okay. These are already existing only. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Okay, this scheme we'll discuss about later. Okay, liquidity injection in the discoms. Discoms in distributing companies, like it's KCB like that. Okay, so government have given money support to them. Free food grains. Okay, free food grains. This one, anybody remember what is this? Is um, interest subvention means the government is giving a subsidy in the interest. Okay, suppose if the 7% is the interest, government is saying that 3% we will pay. Okay, only 4% people have to pay. Okay, interest subvention for the mudra. Mudra is a scheme under which businesses, small businesses will get the loan. Small businesses will get the loan. Okay, write down these names. I'll come with the things. Okay, Operation Greens. Operation Greens. Okay, now write down tax reforms. What the government did in tax reforms. Okay, they call this as honoring the honest. Honoring the honest. See, in India, a lot of people do not pay tax, but some people pay the tax very regularly. Okay, so those people are known as honest taxpayers. Okay, so government wanted to do something for those people. In fact, there is an expectation that tomorrow budget the tax slab will be changed. Okay, so what is going to happen? It is going to be more transparent, efficient, and taxpayer friendly tax administration. Please copy down this from here to here. The tax reform going to be transparent, efficient and taxpayer friendly tax administration. Okay, the scheme was known as honoring the honest. Okay, the biggest thing in this is okay, eliminate fiscal physical interface between the taxpayer and the tax officer. Please copy down from here. Have you heard about the word tax terrorism? Tax terrorism.
Yes, sir.
What is that, madam?
Sir, the revenue officials, they are going back that is, they're trying to retrieve the loans by, and it causes pressure on the.
Harassing, write down when that word harassment by the tax officer. Known as tax terrorism. Okay. I don't know, you remember almost 6 months back that CCD CEO died by suicide, no? Jumping
Yes,
into
sir.
Netravati River. That is one example of tax terrorism. Okay. Okay. So here we are saying that you will not be directly under anybody. You will not be directly contacted by any of the tax officers. That is one is faceless tax administration, faceless assessment scheme. Okay, faceless assessment scheme. Okay, that is what the physical interface between the taxpayer and the tax officer is eliminated. Okay, so how we are doing is write down usage of technology, data analytics, and artificial intelligence, recognizing taxpayers as our partners in the national building. Okay, so three pillars are there: faceless assessment, faceless appeal, and taxpayers charter. See, this is a new scheme. We are expecting this as a question. Don't simply ignore it. Arjun Khan, sir, I am not paying tax, sir, so I need not bother about it. I am jobless, sir, so I will not bother about it. Adana, Arjun Barinada. Exam point of view, these are important. Use of technology, data analytics again. Now, see, people may not pay tax, saying that their income is very low. Okay, but in Flipkart and Amazon, they'll buy costly items. Now, these are known to the government. Government has got a big data analytics, okay, where government is able to track these expenditures, online expenditures. They'll ask you, and they'll go a tour. They'll go a Europe tour, US tour, and all. Okay, and they'll say that we are poor people, we are not paying tax again. So now that things are data is available, government is able to understand if you're not paying tax, all this will be scrutinized now. Your online purchases, your going abroad, okay, all this, okay, the every money you are spending from your account will be scrutinized. Okay, that is why they are talking about technology, use of technology and data analytics, all this stuff. Okay, so pay the tax properly. Fine. So write on the scheme called faceless assessment scheme. Okay, it was earlier known as e-assessment scheme. Okay, and is renamed as faceless assessment scheme in 2020. Okay. So first thing is the random allocation of cases. Okay. One tax officer will get to one file randomly, and it can be from any part of India. It's not like if you're in Ernakulam, only Ernakulam range officers will come to you. Okay. It can be anywhere from the India. Okay. Anywhere from the India. Okay. So random allocation of cases, like elimination of face-to-face contact. Okay. So under this scheme, we are establishing something called National Faceless Assessment Center, which is in Delhi. Okay. National Faceless Assessment Center is getting created in Delhi, and it will be headed by a Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. Okay, and he is the only person who will contact the taxpayers. Clearly write down, guys. All notices, communications to and from the taxpayers, internal communication. Okay, okay, that means yearly it was possible that the tax officer will call somebody and say that you are not paying tax, pay the tax. Will come and raid you. Karke. That is not possible now. You cannot directly contact the taxpayers. Whatever you want to contact, you can contact only through NFAC. Okay. That means every calls are getting recorded. Okay. Okay. Whatever you want to either email or whatever you want to contact the taxpayers, it can happen only through NFSC. Okay, so you cannot harass the taxpayers now. Okay, even if they have done a guilty, even if they have a tax evasion has happened, okay, it should not be like harassing them. Okay, that is what the government is trying to do. Okay, apart from this, we are also going to have a regional faceless assessment center, which will make only assessments. They cannot contact the again. Okay, so all the contact of the taxpayer will happen through the NFAC. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the same thing which I told you has been put as a flow chart here. Okay, actually, this is a very good scheme. This is a very good scheme where the tax terrorism will be resolved. Okay, and the discretionary power of the tax officers will be reduced like almost eliminated. And corruption is also there. Not only that, corruption. Okay, you want to pay 200 crore, do one thing, you pay me 50 crore or 100 crore and I'll leave you. It's like a Shivaji movie only. Okay, 50-50. You may give me 50%, I'll not ask you. Okay, so the corruption was also happening. That is also eliminated. Okay, write down. One of the advantage for this tax terrorism is eliminated. The second one is corruption in the government officials is also getting eliminated. Okay, when it comes to the appeal, okay, when it comes to the appeal, that means you are not happy, your tax has been reduced more. Okay, you can also appeal. It is also in the faceless ecosystem. First one is assessment, second one is appeal. The scheme establishes, okay, so like this one, we also have something called appeal centers. Okay, right on appeal centers. Okay. And whenever the appeal is coming, you will not be called. You need not come to the office. Okay. Right on that. Not required to attend any proceedings personally. Okay. Not required to attend any proceedings personally. Okay. Next one is taxpayers charter. What do you mean by the word charter? Means this is an information brochure kind of thing. It is, for example, if you go to the bank, they'll say that we can give you DD within 5 minutes. You can deposit within 2 minutes. The Muthoot says, okay, you come here within 1 minute, we'll give you gold loan. Those are the commitments. And those commitments are known as charters. Okay, taxpayers charters. Okay. Yeah, taxpayers charter for India comprises commitments by the income tax department. Please write down, and the obligation of the taxpayers. Please copy down here. Okay, so under this thing, I told you the taxpayers, right? Taxpayers are treated as a nation builders. Taxpayers are treated as a nation builders. Because of this, the taxpayers only the government is able to function. Okay, so we should not harass them. We have to take them as a partners. Okay, so all this will be written in the charters. What should be the thing is gentle thing is what is the behavior expected from the officials. Okay, behavior expected from the officials. Okay, just do one reading of this. Okay, no need to be, they'll not ask you these questions. Okay, just read one, like for example, collection from correct amount of tax. Okay, courteous and fair and reasonable treatment of the taxpayers. Okay, those things. Okay. It is going to happen. It's not like just in a paper. Okay, this government, even though they do something which is not good for the people, but whatever they do it in a perfect manner. Okay, so don't worry about it. This will be done. Okay, this is going to happen. Already it is happening, is what people are saying. Okay, and in the person who is paying the tax, he has to disclose his full information about the income. So that's kind of unwritten rule between the taxpayers and the tax office. That is what is in the charter. Okay. Okay, and also write down ombudsman. Ombudsman means you are not happy with the officials, you can file a complaint against them. Okay, it is known as grievances redressal mechanism. Okay, or you can say grievances or complaints. Ombudsman. Okay. You might have heard about this Lokpal and all, no? Lokayukta. Similar, all these are ombudsman only. Ombudsman means you are giving complaint against the officials. Okay, now write down the heading called trends in the government finance. Trends in the government finance. Okay, effective revenue deficit. That's what called effective revenue deficit. Write down effective revenue deficit. Okay, has increased to. Just write down it is increasing. It will increase only. Okay. Okay, effective revenue deficit. Okay, now write down, so far we have seen fiscal deficit only, right? Fiscal deficit means total expenditure minus income. Okay, now the revenue deficit means, write down, okay, revenue receipts minus revenue expenditure. In fact, it should be ulta. Okay, revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. Write down revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure Okay, revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. Receipts means income. Okay. Already I told you, when I say revenue receipts, what do you mean by this revenue receipts? Dashya, what is revenue receipts?
Example fine, sir, which does not create any liability on the government.
It does not create any liability. It is government's own money. Okay. So, for example, government has collected tax, okay, profit, all those. Okay. So that is around 500 or 5,000 rupees. Okay. The expenditure means revenue expenditure. I don't those expenditure which is not creating any asset. Revenue expenditures are those expenditures which is not creating any asset. Example: salary, interest payment, pension payment. Revenue expenditures are those expenditure which is not creating any asset. It is a general administration, general functioning of the government. Okay, so when you talk about revenue deficit, okay, revenue expenditure is more. Okay, for example, government is spending 7,000 rupees and 5,000 rupees it is getting, then 2,000 rupees is a revenue deficit. Okay, so revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. But here we are using the word called effective revenue deficit. Effective revenue deficit. The effective revenue deficit. What do you mean by the word effective revenue deficit means? For example, suppose assume central government. Okay, central government has given 100 crore to the state government. Okay, as a grants in aid. Grants in aid. Yeah, tell me, Anumol. Anumol, what happened? Your face is not seen. You have become faceless student. Tell me, Anupama, tell me, what do you mean by that grants in aid? Anybody? Quick, yeah, quick. Who knows the answer? What do you mean without grants in aid?
Assistance given by central government to state government. Like if there was flood, then they were given grants.
Okay, okay, fine. Now, whether it is for central
Funding.
government, it is a capital expenditure or a revenue expenditure?
Revenue.
Capital.
Revenue expenditure.
It is a non-tax revenue. Revenue expenditure.
It is a revenue expenditure. It is a revenue expenditure because this is not going to come back. Okay, whenever, what do you mean by capital expenditure? Capital expenditure are those expenditures which is creating asset, or it is going to come back later in the form of some kind of profit. Okay, revenue expenditures are those expenditures not creating any asset. So central government is giving state government 100 crore as a grants in aid, which is nothing but a free. Understood? So grants in aid given by the central government to the state government is a free, which is a part of the revenue expenditure. Now, the state government, for example, our CM, okay, very effective CM, he constructs a house and road, something out of this 100 crore. This house construction is actually a capital expenditure. Okay. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is from the revenue expenditure also, I'm going to create a asset. So it's in literally it is a capital expenditure, isn't it? I repeat, the central government is giving 100 crore to the state government, which is actually a revenue expenditure. But state government from the revenue income, they are going to spend on the capital. So for example, if the 100 crore and around 20 crore has been spent on the this house construction, roadways construction. So how much is the effective revenue deficit is equal to this 100 minus 20, only 80. Understood? So yeah, effective revenue deficit means revenue deficit minus capital expenditure incurred from the revenue expenditure. I repeat, Okay, effective revenue deficit is equal to revenue deficit minus capital expenditure from revenue expenditure. Okay, this is known as effective revenue deficit. This was brought very recently. I think it is brought in recently by in 2010 or 12 by Pranab Mukherjee when he was a finance minister. Effective revenue deficit. Okay, you are trying to show the lower revenue deficit because you are going to say that some of your expenditure have been in the form of capital generation also, asset generation also. So our revenue deficit was less than what you assume to be. Clear to everybody? So government is saying that effective revenue deficit has increased. Okay, government is saying the effective revenue deficit has increased. Okay, and if you look at the trends in the receipts, okay, that means how much money government is getting. Okay, government is getting, look at the central government receipts can broadly divide into non-debt and debt receipts. Okay, that means non-debt means revenue receipts, debt receipts means capital receipts. Clear? Non-debt receipts comprise of tax and non-tax revenues, and non-debt capital receipts like recovery of loans and disinvestment receipts. Okay, write down recovery of loan is also comes under the recovery of loans is also comes under the non-debt creating capital receipts. Okay, I told you an example of disinvestment, right? Another example is recovery of loan. Manslayo, are you guys are with me or not? I have always doubt. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
please assure me that, sir, I am with you, sir. I am understanding. Okay. And how do I know when I get response from you guys? You cannot simply sit. Okay. And I am not sure whether you are attending my class or you are watching Master movie has come in Amazon Prime. So I'm along with you are attending my class also. Okay. Arjun only doing like that, isn't it?
No, sir.
Okay. So recovery of loans is also non-debt creating capital receipts. Okay, so government is that is what the broad classification of government receipts. Okay, debt receipts mostly comprise of market borrowing. Okay, other liabilities which government is obliged to repay. Okay, do one thing, get this document and read one more time. Okay, and don't read line by line and go get confused. Okay, read whatever I taught you. Okay, if I want, I will come one more round on this. I'll create some questions and I'll tell you how to read this. Okay, whatever I taught, please read it and get one more. No, this one. Yeah. So coming to the tax revenue, I want only the trend. I don't want the numbers. Okay, I done this. As against 16.9% net tax revenue. So the actual realization is not clear. Yeah, write down this way. That receipts from the corporates and the personal income tax has come down. Okay, compared to the previous year. Okay. Okay, corporate tax as well as the personal income tax both have come down. That's the only word you have to write. No, don't confuse with the numbers. One of the reason for corporate tax coming down is because corporate tax rate has been reduced. Madam, corporate tax rate itself has been reduced. Okay. Corporate tax rate itself has been reduced. Okay, so certain income for the government, which is not a tax, but still it is a revenue receipts. Okay. Example, profit and dividends, profits and dividends from the PSUs, surplus from the RBI. We have discussed this yesterday itself, right? From RBI itself, also government is getting some dividend. Okay, so these are coming under the receipts, revenue receipts, dividends, profit. Okay, then from RBI surplus. Then they are not saying no, it is increasing or decreasing. Okay, I'll check that later. Then non-debt capital receipts. Okay. Okay, two examples have been there. One is the recovery of loans. The other one is disinvestment. Okay, this already I told you government planned 2.1 lakh crore as a this one, but they got only 90,000 crore. So that is also downward, right? On non-debt capital receipts, particularly disinvestment has been less than expected. In the expenditure side, okay, right on the expenditure side, there are two types of expenditure. One is the capital expenditure, the other one is revenue expenditure. Okay, this can be a question. Please copy down. Like, what are the examples of revenue expenditure? Salaries, pensions, interest payment, subsidies, defense. Okay, but you need not memorize it also as long as you understand the concept. Okay. Revenue expenditures, example, salary, pensions, interest payment, subsidies, defense services. Those expenditure is not creating any asset. Yeah, this is clear. Now this blue line is a revenue expenditure. The red line is a capital expenditure. Okay. Look at if you understand properly, both are opposite to each other. When the revenue expenditure is high, capital expenditure is less. Okay, when this is less, this is high. Right on that, the trends in the expenditure is revenue expenditure and capital expenditure go in opposite direction. Please write down revenue expenditure, capital expenditure go in opposite direction. Okay. Next heading is transfer to the states. Transfer to the states, particularly on the recommendation of 15th Finance Commission. Government has accepted all the recommendations. Write down this. First one is post-devolution revenue deficit grant. Please write down the name. Okay, don't get confused. Post-devolution revenue deficit grant. Then second one is grants to the local bodies. Okay. Did yesterday read anybody news in the newspaper? Around 1,100 crore has been given from the central government to state government for local bodies, which has to be transferred within 10 days. No news kandarno. Yesterday's newspaper, I think. Yesterday or day before yesterday's newspaper. Second page or third page. Okay, write down. The central government has accepted the 15th Finance Commission chairman, 15th Finance Commission recommendation. What are the recommendation? Post-devolution revenue deficit grant, grants to the local bodies, disaster management grants. All this government has accepted. Okay. Okay. Write down one more thing. For the first time, Finance Commission grants were allotted for the purpose of improving ambient air quality in the million+ cities. Please copy down this. Okay, question can come among this component which has a highest grant. The highest grant comes under the local bodies grant. Okay, 90,000 crore, followed by post-devolution revenue deficit grant, and third one is disaster management grant. Okay, central government debt means borrowing. Okay, central government borrowing, how it happened to be. Okay, this also copied down. Okay, it was decreasing. Okay, from 2004 onwards, it was stable. Since 2018, it is increasing. Okay, since 2018, write down the debt to the GDP ratio is increasing. Please write down that 2018 onwards, debt to the GDP ratio is increasing. The government started borrowing more. Okay. Now, when the government came with this one, okay, write down, the state governments were allowed to borrow more. Okay, additional borrowing limit up to 2% on the gross state domestic product. Okay, write down, the states were allowed to borrow more than up to 2% they were allowed to borrow. That is one scheme. Is a measure under the lockdown. This one, COVID. Okay, compensation for the GST loss. Okay, initially government was, you know what is GST, right? So when the GST was introduced, the states were not willing to join. Please write down. When the GST was introduced, the states were not willing to join. So to make them join, the central government said that in case of any loss in the revenue, I'll give you the compensation. Okay. So that exactly happened during the COVID. Okay. So when the states went to the central government saying that we lost the revenues, please give a compensation. The Nirmala Sitharaman gave a funny reply. Anybody remember that? What did she?
Act of God.
She said, "Act of God. This is act of God. How can we give the money?" But later they paid. Okay, later they paid. Okay. So I don't. Second one is government. Central government gave a compensation to the states because of GST loss. Okay, third one is right on special assistance to the states for capital expenditure. Okay, under this scheme, the state government can have 50 years interest-free loan up to 12,000 crore. Interest-free loan, that is very important. Interest-free loan. They have to pay only 50 years only, not now, immediately. Then there was a cash transfer for SDRF also. Okay, State Disaster Relief Force, I think. Yeah, Outlook is just a summary. Okay, so please go through this. Okay, I'll come with the questions so that you can understand how the questions are coming. Yeah, any doubts so far, guys?
So, hello.
Yeah. Don't bring that to the mouth. Simply you speak. Let it hang. Tell me.
So recently you told for the first time financial commission grants were also allocated for improving that I didn't get.
Have you written that? Did you write it or not?
But I was not able to write that.
Okay. Now read this. This one you're saying?
Yes.
They're saying, see, Delhi, not for our areas, but in Delhi, there's a air quality issue. So for that also some money is given separately, particularly in the million plus cities. Million plus city means all the metros will be there. Okay. Then additionally, Pune, Bangalore, wherever the population is more than 10 lakh is known as million plus cities. 1 million, more than 1 million population.
Yeah.
Okay. Done?
Okay.
Any other doubts, anybody? No? Okay, please read this along with the NCRT, everything. Okay. I'll tell you one thing, if you are good in economy, then you are good in the exam. Okay. Because this is something which not everybody, but most of the students are lacking. Most of the students have a problem in economics. Okay. So if you are able to master that, then you will clear this exam easily. Okay, guys. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.